I feel like I know I have not been on for YouTube, kind of doing some of my like journal entries and kind of talking about certain things that is happening in my life, which I need to, because I feel like I really want to see the growth that God is doing in my life and the different perspectives and the changes that He is doing in my life right now, and being able to give language to it. I feel like God is bringing me to a place again. There's been places where He's like, remember I told you about the false teaching. He brought me to a place of, okay, now that you know that this is false teaching, that you can't speak things into existence and you can't control your life. Now He gave me like a crossroad road, like, okay, you can't do this, so are you going to still be with me? Okay. Now I feel like the Lord has been really coming against every idol that I have didn't realize it was in my life, or I didn't know that was in my life. And one of them was my marriage. My marriage was a big idol for me, because I felt like me being married was me actually having an identity. I found identity in being a wife. I found identity and value in someone deeming me worthy of being their wife. And when it didn't lean up to me feeling still worthy, I didn't feel valued or understood or any of these things within the marriage, and it left me confused. It wasn't stable. It was rocky in the beginning. It was not secure. So my identity wasn't secure. My value wasn't secure. I wasn't a good wife if I wasn't doing what He asked me to do. So I wasn't good then. And in that instance, if I didn't make Him happy, I wasn't good. So my value went down. My worth went down. And that's how I felt, let me say. In that instance of how He treated me and how things happened. So going into that, I knew that me putting so much faith and belief in this marriage is going to make who I am and make me a success and make me valuable and make me worthy, that it was sinking ground. It was literally sinking ground, and it was not something that I can stand firm and secure in. And I didn't realize that my marriage was an idol until we got divorced. So I knew in the beginning, the first year, that my expectations were too high, that I didn't leave room for mistakes. I didn't leave room for grace for my ex-husband or any of those things. But in that first year, I realized, okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And not in a bad way, but in like, I really thought that this was going to make me. And that I'm going to find value or identity in this. And what I realized in the beginning, it was more on, okay, I thought marriage was for me when it actually is for the other person. So I kind of realized what marriage was about, but didn't realize that marriage was an idol. So I realized, okay, this is not about me. I realized that the Lord brought that to my attention. But in that instance, that's all I knew. I didn't realize that I was trying to bring my value, my identity, my worth into making this marriage work. I didn't know that until I got divorced. Now that I know that it's an idol after we've gotten divorced and everything like that, but I've learned it. Then me and having this perspective of somebody wanting me or somebody's words towards me or compliments or how they see me gives me credibility, or that gives me some sort of type of worth. In that instance, it's not secure. Because one day they're going to love me, the next they're not. And their words cannot be creditable or cannot show value towards me, because it will change over time depending on what happens with me and that person and all that other stuff. So it's like, I feel like God is showing me places where I have put my security in, and he's showing me like, these things cannot keep you. They can't keep you stable. They can't keep you from harm. They can't secure you. They can't keep you safe. And it's just like, okay, I understand that now. In my mindset, I have a knowledge of it, but wanting it is still here. Now, I feel that that's still temptation that probably will never leave. But I feel like God is kind of like giving me that same thing that he did with the false teaching. He's like, now that you know marriage was an idol, now that you know that no one can give you this value that I've already created you to be. No one's words, no actions, nothing that they can do for you is going to keep you stable like me. And he's like, now are you ready to devote everything? And it's like, in my mind, it's like, I did that. But when you look at it, no, you didn't, because you've been dealing with idols for years. You've devoted yourselves to idols and idolatry in certain areas in your life. And so your interest, your love, your devotion has been split. And I'm like, okay, God. In my mind, he's like, now you have to make a decision. I don't want the devotion that you want to give me. The devotion for an hour, praise me, and cry and weep and read your word and different things like that. I don't want that. I want you to be devoted to me. And it's like, ooh, what does that all entail, you know? What does that entail? Yes, we know, okay, obey him. But what does that look like in the day-to-day process? And I really would love to, I feel like, talk about that more and vlog that, and because I don't think people see, they're screaming for practicality. They're screaming for, oh, how can we do this in our real life? And it's like, you're asking for something that is spiritual and natural. Like, you'll be able to see it, but I think we have to follow, just like how the disciples had to do. They had to follow the people to actually see what living with Jesus or living with God looks like. I would love to have that. I would love to do that for people. But I don't know. I'm walking this out with the Lord now. Like, all I know is to be devoted to him. When I wake up in the morning, That's the first thing that should be on my mind. And it's been a discipline of mine for the last 50 days to show that in a public way of studying God's word, 1 chapter a day. That's it. And I'm in Psalms. So I don't know. It's just I can feel him. Just the sermon from yesterday, the things that he's just been showing me in the word, just me having a conversation with him, in my times of prayer. He's like, I need you to be devoted. This devotion is not a time, He's like, you have to get away from that now. You got to get away from that. You need to get away from this devotion of just, let me give him some time today. So I'm discovering, okay, what does this look like? What does devotion look like for me? And I think the first thing is to really kind of show him. He's like, I want to be in everything. I want to be in everything. So discussed in everything. So the main thing I'm going to do first is pray. I'm going to pray and be like, okay, God, what does devotion look like? What do you want me to do in that instance? What does it look like? And then he's already already told me, like in the beginning, like before you make a decision, before you do anything, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. So I'm going to do that. And I don't know how to really kind of show that to you guys, to be honest. I really don't. But I'm seeing that that's what the Lord wants me to do. And he's like, look, I need you to give me everything. Because before I was talking about marriage. On my TikTok, I was talking about marriage. And I'm reading this book called Church Girl. And she was talking about, that Adam and Eve was the first community. Yes, marriage is ministry, but marriage is community. It is your first community of ones that's going to hold you accountable, what's going to be with you and bear the same burdens as you, ones that you serve, ones that you forgive, ones that you grow in Christ with, right? And that is just a part or a way of community. There's other ways of community. So marriage is not the only thing that will show you to be that you're in purpose. And I was struggling with that. Just being divorced and trying to figure out being in this season of singleness, and I want to do it right. And he's just like, Nana, you are in community. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're still in purpose. You're still doing what I want you to do. It's going to look different than it did before. And he's like, I need you to give me that. I need you to give me that you're not in a position that you wanted to be in. That you're not married. That you're not in that position anymore. I need you to give me that. I need you to give for the fact that you feel like you need to be somewhere, or you should be somewhere by now, or you should have this amount of whatever it is. And I need you to give me all of that and trust me. Don't strategize. Don't, try to figure out why it's not happening. Where do I need to be? But trust me in that instance, and that if I'm devoted to you, regardless of what it is, if I don't ever get married again, if I don't ever be in a position that I feel like I'm in a successful whatever I'm doing at the time, then I should be okay. I just I really feel like that's what needs to happen. And he's like, you need to give me all of that. All of it. And devote yourself and trust in me. All that you thought those things were, I need to be there. That's what needs to happen. And I'm just like, okay, I want that. I desire that. I agree with that. And I want that. I just don't know how it looks, what that's going to look like. There's fear there because I just feel like every time the Lord, and I hear testimonies or different things like that, we say yes to the Lord, that something is taken away. You know what I'm saying? And I've already been in that season of some things been taken away. So I don't know if it's just continuous of what was taken or if I should just trust him. But that's going to be the hard part. All right, Lord. All right. All right. And I just, hopefully I'll be able to, because I feel like this is something that other people are going through too. That God is calling them to devote more to him. A complete yes. He needs a complete yes. Not this, okay, guess but. Yes, but I'm going to take these things. Yes, but I don't want you to touch this stuff. And he's done with that. At least in my life right now, he's like, okay, I've given you enough patience. I've given you enough grace for that season. And now I'm requiring more. So I want to do that. I want to help and show the lifestyle of a single, divorcee, however you want to call it, woman that has kids, and just trying to devote her life to the Lord and what that looks like. So we're going to see how that works. But I hope that through this journey that you guys will be able to be strengthened, encouraged, and also just in general. So I just feel like I said in the beginning, I need to go back to that video, my first one, because I feel like this is another deeper part of the same video. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's see. Come along for the journey.